Hello my friends, today we have some sort of the good news and also bad news. Let's go to the bad first and zoom in to Soledar. So here's the city, it's the major hotspot now on the front lines, and Russia moved closer and closer. There was no update for the daytime of this military map, but I got some information based on the videos that Wagner soldiers filmed from that city. So here we go with the video and the shaking camera, but they show the buildings. I cannot show you the full video because there's something that I cannot show on YouTube. But let's look at this building over here. It's kind of a unique one and we may find it on Google Maps. And it's not just one building, it's some sort of the factory out there. Like this screenshot, right? We have the building and many more behind or near to that one. And let's go to the Google Maps. And let's zoom into the salt mines. Over here you can see that there is the big building, the same that you may have seen on the video. I just want to show you again. So this building, clearly we can see it's the same with this upper part, and the sun is behind right side from the building because it's the winter time. Sun goes down over there. And here you can also see this upper part and the same shadows, by the way, as from the sunset. And probably the Wagner soldiers were filming over here in this crossroad very close to that building. There are some tubes and other stuff, and it means that they're on the western side of the Soledar city. So there is one more district over here with a railway road, and there is one river. I think Ukrainian army still controls this area, but all of this is under control by the Wagner soldiers because they were just walking there in the private sector of the residential buildings. So yes, this was the spot where they filmed the video, this one exactly. And let's return to the deep state map and let's put the satellite image over here. You can see that this area is somewhere over here. So this is this big building somewhere here. This is the crossroad, and Russia already took this part of the territory. It means that probably they've took this part from the south as well, because as I say to you, there was no any fighting. They were just walking around the private sector. And this is the other part of the city that I think is still under control by Ukrainian forces. However, my friends, Russian forces moved at least this much, and I think they already took this vast part of the Soledar. And today I read the news from the CNN that their reporters were in Soledar, and they reported that the Ukrainian army is holding the city. Unfortunately, from what I see from the image that Wagner soldiers took, it's exactly the place, and they're already at the western side of the Soledar city. We don't know how far they moved from the north. Hopefully they are not in the central part, but Wagner say that they've took all of the city. And Russian army continued to say that the fighting is ongoing for the city. Wagner continued to say that they were the only force that was able to take the Soledar city under their control. For this time, my friends, it's very hard to judge whether they've took the city or not. The information is quite controversial, but again, from what I showed you, you can definitely say that they've took at least this part of the city for sure. I cannot be wrong with my analysis that I showed you from the satellite image and actual video, and still we have a big question about this, the most populated residential area, whether it's under control by the Wagner group or not. Again, bad news, there was the information about missing British volunteers who went to Ukraine to help people. The one volunteer is Chris Perry, the other one is Andrew Bagshaw. So today a Russian side claimed that they found the body of Chris Perry and he got the passport of the other British volunteer with him, and Russia already said that he was the soldier, but let me show you something. It is his volunteer certificate showing that he was working not as a soldier but as the humanitarian volunteer. And here we have one more picture of his. There's the car, the Land Rover or something behind, and you may say that he's the warrior, he's wearing the helmet and the vest. No, my friends, he's not wearing the military uniform, and it's normal thing even for the press to wear helmets and the vests to protect themselves. Moreover, we can see that Chris has the special knives used by the medics only, so probably he was a medic over there. And still we are not sure whether he alive or not. It's better not to trust the information coming from the Russian side and double check it. And here I want to show you the controversial information coming from the Russian military and Wagner. So at the same time, Prigozhin said that they took Soledar, encircling and destroying 500 Ukrainian troops. And here the official Ministry of Defense said that it's fake basically, and the fighting for Soledar is ongoing. More interesting news from the Russian army. General Gerasimov, probably you already know that guy. He was promoted as the commander of the Joint Group Forces in Ukraine. So General Surovikin is now dismissed from his position, and now he's just a deputy of Gerasimov. And Wagner Group also has the conflict with this general. Some of the soldiers are openly accused Gerasimov for the incompetence before, and Prigozhin supported his soldiers in that statement. So two of the generals, Lapin and Gerasimov, who hate Wagner and Wagner hates them, they were promoted for the new positions to actually rule the situation in Ukraine. And we call those generals the goodwill gesture generals, because under their control, Ukrainian army was able to take the vast territories that Russian forces occupied before. Alright, let's go to awesome news. Leopard 2 tanks will be delivered to Ukraine by Poland. It's been officially said by the president of Poland, Andrzej Duda. At the very beginning, Ukrainian side will receive 10 tanks from Poland, but that quantity will increase since we have the support from Finland. They will also supply Leopard 2 tanks, maybe Germany and other countries. Let's see which country has the most quantity of those tanks. So here's the list, and as you can see, it's Turkey. They have 354 tanks, but I don't think that they will give them to Ukrainian side. They want to keep more or less the neutral status, and their goal is to negotiate between Russia and Ukraine the grain deals and prisoners of war exchanges. But I think some of the other countries may help, especially those countries that have more than 100 tanks. The main thing for Ukraine was to push this big stone and negotiate the supply of those tanks, and other countries will also supply Ukraine with their tanks. Now we speak about UK, and according to political resource, the United Kingdom is considering supplying Ukraine with tanks. Those could be maybe Challenger 2 or something. And about the Abrams tanks, I don't think that it's real. They're very sophisticated, they have different engines, and they require lots of the supplies and equipment to maintain them. So British tanks and German tanks will be much useful, I think, for Ukrainian army compared to Abrams tanks. But who knows, maybe United States would invest in that big project providing tanks to Ukrainian army, but I think it's better to have airplanes from United States side. I think F-18s is the nice choice for Ukrainian army, and I have some of that leaked information about those airplanes, but still it's very early to share it on my channel. President Zelensky today attended Lviv and he visited the local cemetery, and it's just crazy what is happening there in the cemetery. Just look at those numbers of flags out there, and it's just one cemetery, and not only Russia has severe losses, Ukraine also lose a lot. So Russia loses the worst people, sometimes even prisoners, and Ukraine loses the best of the best. Lithuania will send those anti-aircraft L-70 cannons to Ukrainian army. It seems to be the small help, however, those cannons are very effective against Iranian drones. We need them a lot, and they're more effective compared to the old Soviet cannons that we have. Alright, the deep state posted that the Russians were spotted here in this area, and before I told you that they're over here, it means that probably they are controlling this whole territory. I think like that, and maybe in the worst case like this, and I still don't know about the north direction. Right, the new update from the deep state just confirmed my research about the satellite image and the video that Wagner soldiers took in Soledar, and definitely they were filming in this crossroad, but they were walking very slowly, and I guess those buildings and houses are not under Ukrainian control, and unfortunately Russia, I think, took all of this private sector. It's been reported by Ukrainian intelligence this morning that Russia closed their borders, but Russian officials say that it's fake, and it's time for Russian men to get away from Russia because those borders will be closed very soon. My friends, if you want to support this channel, just press the like button. If you want to support me financially, there are some of the links in the video description below. You may support me on Patreon, PayPal, or Donatello, whichever is more convenient for you. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.